In the heart of Norfolk's misty countryside, where ancient hedgerows twist like veins across the rolling fields, stands Raynham Hall, a grand ancestral manor of weathered stone and timeless elegance. For nearly 3 centuries, this stately home, with its sprawling wings and mullioned windows, has been steeped in history, scandal, and ghostly whispers that cling to its walls like ivy. At the center of its legend is a single, sorrowful presence, the spectral figure of a woman in a brown brocade dress, her hollow eyes glistening with eternal sorrow, her silhouette a flicker of grief in the fading light. Known across Britain and far beyond, she is the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, a ghost whose story is as tragic as it is terrifying. Legend holds that the Brown Lady is none other than Lady Dorothy Walpole, sister to Sir Robert Walpole, Britain's first Prime Minister, and a woman whose life was marred by betrayal and confinement. Born in 1686 into the powerful Walpole family, Dorothy was renowned for her beauty, wit, and spirited charm, qualities that drew the attention of Charles Townshend, 2nd Viscount Townshend, a volatile and possessive nobleman. Their marriage, in 1713, initially a union of political convenience, soon unraveled under the weight of jealousy and rumor. Whispers of Dorothy's alleged infidelity, possibly with a dashing diplomat or a family friend, enraged Townshend, whose temper was as notorious as his wealth. By the early 1720s, he is said to have confined Dorothy to Raynham Hall, barring her from courtly society, separating her from her beloved children, and isolating her in the labyrinthine corridors of the manor. Some accounts claim she was locked in a single suite, her windows shuttered, her letters intercepted, her world reduced to the echo of her own footsteps. Dorothy's death in 1726, at the age of 39, remains shrouded in mystery. Official records cite a vague illness, possibly smallpox or consumption, but village gossip painted a darker picture: heartbreak, starvation, or even murder at the hands of her vengeful husband. A servant's diary, unearthed in a Norfolk archive in the 19th century, describes Dorothy as a shadow of herself, pacing the halls like a caged bird, her laughter long gone. Another chilling rumor suggests she was pushed down the grand staircase, her neck broken in a fall disguised as an accident. Whatever the truth, Dorothy's spirit, it seems, was not content to rest. By the 1750s, servants and guests began reporting sightings of a woman in a brown silk gown, her face pale and eyeless, gliding through the manor as if bound to retrace her final days. The Brown Lady might have remained a local legend, whispered in Norfolk's taverns and churchyards, were it not for a chilling moment captured nearly 2 centuries later. On September 19, 1936, during a photographic assignment for Country Life magazine, photographers Captain Hubert Prevand and his assistant Linda Jones were documenting Raynham Hall's opulent interiors. As they set up their cumbersome equipment to capture the grand oak staircase, Jones froze, his breath catching. "There's something on the stairs," he whispered urgently, pointing to a misty form descending the steps, its outline shimmering like heat rising from a summer road. Provand, skeptical but trusting his assistant, triggered the shutter. When the plate was developed, the resulting image stunned them. A translucent figure, unmistakably a woman in an old-fashioned dress, glided down the staircase, her form wreathed in a gauzy haze. Published in Country Life that December, the photograph, now one of the most iconic paranormal images ever, transformed the Brown Lady from a regional spectre into an international sensation, sparking debates that continue to this day. Since that eerie photograph shocked the world, Raynham Hall has drawn a ceaseless parade of paranormal investigators, skeptics, and thrill-seekers, each hoping to glimpse the sorrowful figure or debunk her existence. Witnesses describe a tall, mournful woman with dark hair pinned in an antique style, her sunken eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light, her brown silk gown rustling faintly as she moves. She is most often seen on the grand staircase where the 1936 photograph was taken, or roaming the shadowy corridors at dusk, her presence heralded by a sudden chill or the scent of faded lavender. Visitors report hearing footsteps pacing through empty rooms, their rhythm slow and deliberate, as if counting out a life cut short. Doors creak open unaided, chandeliers sway in still air, and a cold, intangible presence passes through rooms like a breeze from beyond the grave. Former residents and staff have shared unsettling tales that span generations. In 1835, a visiting colonel, staying in a guest chamber, awoke to find a woman in brown standing at his bedside, her face illuminated as if by a lantern and twisted with sadness. He fled the room, refusing to return. In the 1920s, a young daughter of the Townshend family screamed in terror after encountering a lady with no eyes at the top of the staircase, her description chillingly consistent with earlier accounts. A housekeeper in the 1950s, tasked with polishing the staircase banister, claimed to feel a hand brush her shoulder, followed by a soft, anguished sob that seemed to come from the air itself. "I knew it was her," the housekeeper later said. "You don't forget a sound like that." The Townshend family, who have owned Raynham Hall since the 17th century and still reside in parts of the manor, have not shied away from the legend, embracing it as an indelible part of their heritage. "It's simply part of the house," said Lord Charles Townshend in a 2017 interview with the Norfolk Chronicle. "Raynham has its ghosts, one more than most. We've all heard things, seen things, shadows that don't belong, voices in empty rooms. Dorothy's story is our story, too." Family lore includes a private journal kept by a 19th century Townshend matriarch, who wrote of Our Lady in Brown, who watches us still, her sorrow a mirror to our own. The family's candor has only fueled the legend's allure, drawing visitors from as far as Japan and America to walk the halls where Dorothy's spirit lingers. Skeptics, however, have long sought to dismantle the Brown Lady's mystique, particularly the 1936 photograph. Some argue it was a double exposure, an accidental overlay of images common in early photography, while others suggest Prevond and Jones staged the shot for fame, pointing to the image's theatrical clarity. A 2006 analysis by a London Photography Institute found no definitive evidence of tampering, but noted that the figure's perfect composition raised questions. Yet believers counter that the photograph's impact lies not in its authenticity, but in its alignment with centuries of sightings, each echoing the same haunting figure. Paranormal societies, including the British Ghost Watch and the Norfolk Supernatural Inquiry, have conducted investigations at Raynham, reporting electromagnetic field (EMF) anomalies, sudden temperature drops, and disembodied voices whispering names, sometimes Dorothy or Charles, in the night. In 2019, a thermal camera captured a fleeting, humanoid shape in the oak parlor, though the footage was too grainy to be conclusive. Raynham Hall's haunting has left its mark on Norfolk's culture, weaving the Brown Lady into the region's folklore. In nearby villages like South Raynham, pubs like the Swan serve a Brown Lady's Lament stout, and children dare each other to approach the manor's gates at twilight. Yet locals speak of Dorothy with a mix of reverence and unease. "She's not just a ghost," says Ellen Pritchard, a 70-year-old farmer's widow whose family has lived near Raynham for generations. "She's a warning about what happens when love turns to cruelty. You feel her when you pass the hall, like a weight on your chest." The manor's mystique has also inspired artists and writers, from Gothic novelists to modern filmmakers, who see in Dorothy's story a timeless tragedy of betrayal and entrapment. To this day, few are willing to ascend Raynham's grand staircase after nightfall, its polished oak steps gleaming under moonlight as if awaiting their spectral guest. The air in the manor feels charged, heavy with the echo of a life unfinished. The portraits lining the halls, many of them Walpoles and Townsends, seem to watch visitors with knowing eyes, as if guarding Dorothy's secret. Whether she is a spirit of vengeance, a sorrowful soul searching for peace, or merely the product of long shadows and longer imaginations, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall continues to captivate and unsettle all who cross her path. In the quiet hours, when the wind moans through Norfolk's fields and the staircase creaks under an unseen weight, Dorothy Walpole walks again, her brown gown a whisper against the stone, her hollow gaze a reminder that some wounds never heal, not even in death. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, subscribe and comment below.